linking my husband to YouTube shorts of Skibbity Toilet tearfully and saying, I'm sorry I can't be her. I'm Spike.
I'm Kel. I have no idea what you just said.
I'm Amanda, and I am pro Skibbity Toilet.
I'm pleased to hear you are pro Skibbity Toilet.
I love Skibbity Toilet.
On the side of fucking history, that's what you are.
The children are all right.
I don't know what that is.
Kel,
Gaben will have to answer for Skibbity Toilet in heaven.
Listen, so basically, you know what SFM animations are? The like Team Fortress 2 and Gary's Mod animations that people
Source
do.
filmmaker.
Yeah. So someone who did a lot of those and did like little videos and music videos did this one with like people's heads coming out of toilets, like that were like in opposition to some like computer TV headmen. And it was just one video, but it popped off. The children love it. They've been memeing it to death. Now it's an ongoing series. Mm-hmm. And every time I see someone get like super confused by Skibbity Bop, I'm like, this is not new.
It's just a bunch of source filmmaker shorts of like models from Half-Life, and one of them just pops out of a toilet. And...
A lot of them pop out of toilets.
Oh, fair enough. A lot of urinals. A lot of them pop out of toilets and urinals, and it's just nonsense. It's just pure bullshit.
But the thing is, here's why it popped off and why the kids love it. There is very, very scant lore. And you know what? You know how to get little kids on the internet hooked on something? Lore.
Yeah.
Even if it's dumb as shit. This is following the fucking FNAF model, the old creepypasta model, the Poppy's Playtime bullshit model. Just anything where kids can like connect the dots and go, oh, a secret story for us.
Yes,
and also it's fucking absurd and it confuses adults. So plus.
Yeah, it's Dadaists would love it. I'll say that much.
I love it.
Well, you're a Dadaist.
I guess so. I love absurd bullshit.
Yeah.
Like Amanda, I should send you copies of my dear friend Nakuten. Because that's one of the first mangas that I was assigned at Seven Seas. And it is all Dadaist humor. It is about a girl that is also a deer.
Oh yeah, you told me about that. I do want to read that.
Yeah. And they say that she's a deer, but she can take her antlers off.
What's a deer do?
Keep snacks in them. And also she can throw her antlers and they explode like a grenade.
Which deer do?
Yeah.
Makes perfect sense. Totally natural. Totally sensible.
There was a joke about her antlers picking up Wi-Fi signals. So
fair enough. I've told y'all about the I think it was you who actually brought it to my attention, Kel. I've told y'all about basically how difficult it is to get anything licensed in Japan if you're not one of like 3 American companies or American/Japanese company that had the market completely sewn up like 15 years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh god. I mentioned the manga I really fucking want to import and translate, but I don't think it's happening because like the company just straight up refuses to acknowledge my existence.
I wish you could get that one too.
Yeah.
Like obviously lip zip just in case.
Yeah, both Amanda and Kel obviously are in the Iron Circus Slack, and they have these discussions with me about what books we want to take on. And this is a title that has kind of been, I guess the best way is, it's like, what do they say these days? It's a grail. Yeah, it's like one of my grails where it's just, God, I really wish I could. And it's called, it translates directly to I lost my mother to like online conspiracy theories. And it's basically a Japanese person's autobiographical, obviously like, anonymized, but autobiographical account of their mom basically falling down the Q hole. And oh God, I want to fucking publish that so bad. But like they literally won't talk to me. And I've tried emailing the publisher. I have a friend who speaks Japanese. They've emailed the publisher in Japanese for me using, like proper Japanese business diction and shit. And it just hasn't happened. And it breaks my fucking heart because I would Oh, I would die to publish that. I love it conceptually. It just looks so good. But it's not happening because no one talks to me. This is like the second time I've tried to publish a manga and been just iced out. Like not even said no to. Not even said no to. Just fucking ignored.
I'm so sorry.
It's like, I mean, not to be a huge cynic, but you figure out how this shit happens, and when it happens, you're not surprised.
I'm sitting here staring at a trending tag on Twitter and going, which one is it? It's Wukong, and it's trending. I'm like, is this
Wukong?
Sun Wukong, a monkey from Journey to the West?
Okay.
And I'm sitting here going, is it the actual character? Is it the Warframe from Warframe? Or is it the new very popular Lego version of him? Click. It's all the Lego Wukong. All of it.
I wasn't aware there was a Lego.
There's
Wukong.
a bunch of animated Lego movies that are very popular. And one of them is kind of sort of vaguely Journey to the West themed, but not.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. It's 2D animated. It's actually pretty nice quality. And I keep going like, this is my gamble. Every time it's like, hey, I want to see if anyone's drawn some cool Sun Wukong art. Lego boys kissing. Lots of Lego boys shipping art. Like, it's great. The Lego boy shipping art is great because they will have like defined pecs and bodies, and they'll still have the Lego hands.
I love that it's explicitly Lego boys kissing. And I love the idea of them like trying to be a yaoi comic and like trying to run their yaoi hands through each other's hair, and it's just the big Lego claw.
But that's what it is. It's just that they have Lego. It's like they're still kind of like proportioned like a Lego person, but they, you know how it is. They give them like more defined arms and more defined bodies, but they still have Lego hands.
Oh yeah.
It's great. I love it. Good job, everybody. You're doing God's work.
Before we went live, I was telling y'all that I spent a good portion of this morning reading Berserk.
Mm-hmm.
And while reading it, I realized a comic that I really liked as a teenager just wholesale ripped off giant portions of Berserk.
Like, oh no, late in life revelations.
Yes, name and shame. I'm intrigued.
Oh, it was a Korean comic called Rebirth. That was about a vampire.
All right.
Which is why I picked it up. And basically the bad guy is just Griffith from Berserk. But
for folks who haven't read Berserk, like what does that mean? Who is Griffith?
You said you didn't want any spoilers.
You can tell me. You can describe Griffith without spoiling things.
I can't.
Okay, never mind. Is he the good guy or the bad guy?
I know enough. Yeah, okay. I know enough about Berserk to know, like, even like good guy or bad guy, depending on where you are in the story, that's a spoiler.
Yeah.
Antagonist or protagonist then.
Again. That depends on where you are in the story.
Depends on where you are in the story, Spy.
Yeah. The more I hear, I admittedly haven't read Berserk. It's on my like to read list because everybody seems to love it so fucking much. And I kind of have this general rule where even if I look at something initially, I'm like, not my vibe. Even if I do that, if like the whole fucking world is like, holy shit, oh my God. And the thing they're holy shit, oh my God about isn't like the subject of a pointed and intense media campaign. So it seems to be at least a little bit organic. I kind of like make a note to say, okay, fine, I should check this out. I will
say, Spike, for you in particular, the first arc is very edgelord teeny.
Oh God,
like
so tiresome though.
But like, you should still read the first arc because it makes the second arc like it gives more context, and I think does like boost the second arc.
Listen to this Berserk apologism.
I'm not apologizing for shit. Like I'm
apologism. When you're an apologist, it's not that you're apologizing for something; it's that you're justifying the weaknesses of it. You're meat shielding, basically.
But they're not doing that
this
either.
Is
they're
the
just
thing.
giving you context so you can make better decisions.
Yeah.
I don't like making
I'm giving you context to make better decisions, and also that edgelord teen bullshit is not a flaw in the original target audience for Berserk. So
Fair enough. It's just after a while you get kind of like over it, you know? It's just
there's only so many lovingly rendered intestines you can look at.
Yeah. Yeah, it's as I grow older, I discover my sort of tolerance for the kind of things where people are like, oh, it gets good. Like my tolerance for that goes down because it's like I got finite time on this earth. I'm not interested
done that
in
to me,
waiting
though.
through the first 5
for
shitty chapters or
for
something.
reference, Spike, the first arc is the first 3 volumes.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not feeling it by like volume 5, you should stop.
Ooh, that's a commitment.
I don't know. I've seen the stuff you've dedicated time to.
That's different. That's different.
But having said that, I have no intention of ever finishing it. I didn't enjoy it, and I will not probably end up. Especially because I learned more about what happens later, and I'm just like, nah.
Yeah.
This is one of the things where spoilers helped me make a decision, because like, no, thank you for the spoilers. This seems like a great work of art. I see why people love it. This is clearly not for me. Goodbye.
Yeah. Yeah, I have I have that kind of vibe. It's like when I hear certain things take place in stories, I'm all like, okay, and that's a no.
Yeah. I ended up pulling the trigger on it because FD Signifier's newest video briefly talks about Berserk. And kind of positions Berserk as like all this traumatic shit happens to the characters, but like they still find connection with one another.
Mm-hmm.
And I dig that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it can be done in such a way. It's like, that's the thing. It's like, I believe that really distasteful story elements can be incorporated in such a way that I'm not immediately like, oh, I couldn't figure out how to fucking end this chapter, huh? You know, but it can be done in such a way where I don't do that. A very good writer can do that. The same way I talk about like all the time, like in A Song of Ice and Fire. If you fucking told me in A Song of Ice and Fire, the plot, it sounds completely idiotic. I would have never read it if someone had just described the plot to me. But because it is well written, you know, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll give this a chance when I might otherwise not have. But there are certain ones where, oh, how to say this in a acceptable way? I cross-reference the occurrence with the medium and the source, and I just go, what are the chances that this won't immediately make me sorry I read it?
So
and then the fucking Reading Rainbow sound.
That's my phone probably telling me my mom's messaging me.
The Reading Rainbow sound of all sound.
Anyway,
that's not the reading. What are you talking about?
That's the Reading Rainbow sound.
It's not.
It is.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
What the fuck? Then what is it?
It's the default text message
That's
noise.
just brap.
Yeah, that's what happens when they change like skits on Reading Rainbow. That sound plays.
That is not the same sound.
Then what is the sound?
I don't like. I can go look it up real quick, but that's not the sound. That's a weird brap.
My God, I hate
It sounds like a
so much.
robot trying to sing. That's not what Reading Rainbow did.
I hate you both.
I can leave.
Anyway,
I can just go. I can pick up my.
So anyway,
I'm full of spaghetti. I'm ready for my nap. I could be playing Warframe full of spaghetti.
Anyway,
that reminds me.
Yeah.
Keep talking. No. I have an app that lets me check on my Warframe Foundry, so I know when my stuff's done building. So keep talking.
So the Korean comic I liked as a teenager that just stole a character from Berserk. The plot was that like it's a vampire that wanted revenge on this guy who's like super powerful godlike being, and who's going to like theoretically destroy the world. So all the good guys are helping this vampire get vengeance, not because the vampire is a good guy, but just he has the best chance of stopping a worse evil.
Okay.
And so because I like comics about shitty people, and that has never changed about me.
Uh-huh.
And so I read a very large portion of that comic, while this vampire like murders his way through the modern era, and then
Well, Havelock agrees with Spike about the sound.
Yeah. Thank you. God.
So he just like murders his way through the modern era, while the other good guys are like, you shouldn't kill people, and he's like, I give zero shits. Like, these are all steps to murder this guy.
Means to an end, sure.
Yeah. And yeah, the guy that the godlike being that he's planning to kill is like, oh, this is Griffith's backstory. Huh.
Okay.
And it's better in Berserk, obviously, since it's
Yeah,
was good enough that the other comic wanted to rip it off.
Yeah, don't ask me why I'm thinking of this right now, but this makes me think of two things in particular. Well, it seems kind of just like, why would you think of that, basically? There was a Instagram. I've never been like big on Instagram, but there was an Instagram I used to follow, and its whole deal was all it would do, like, no comments. It would just chronicle, I guess, when somebody got a really nice tattoo. And of course, when you get a nice tattoo, you want to show it off. And when they show it off, it's kind of assumed a lot of idiots are going to get a really shitty copy of that tattoo. And all it would do is it would show you like the nice tattoo fresh from the shop that, had just been wiped down, but that the original person got, and then just a whole lineup of really, really shitty copies. And you could kind of tell, it's not always, but sometimes you could kind of tell when it's clear the person who got the copy had shown their tattooist a picture and said, I want that. And when they had shown them a picture of yet another copy and said, I want that. And you sometimes see like the degradation from the original all the way down to
yeah.
Well,
Xerox of a Xerox.
I looked up the Reading Rainbow sound.
Yes.
They are superficially similar.
Okay, then. God, stop trying to fucking gaslight me,
but
you
it's
asshole.
Not the same sound. You said it's the sound.
It sounds a lot like it. And
they are
fucking
similar, but
me.
It's not the same sound. You said it was the same sound.
Gaslighting me. You're
no.
Gaslighting me. Yes.
No.
Yes. I'm right. I'm right, and you're mad I'm right.
But I'm not mad. And you're not right.
I am right.
No.
Yes.
Also, what's fun is the other day I listened to a Star Trek podcast where they pick 3 episodes from different Treks that are a theme, and then like talk about that theme on the episode. So the episode that I listened to was called Your Laws Are Stupid. And it's every time the Trek landing party goes to a planet that just has the stupidest laws. Like why is this a law? Yeah.
I think they definitely must have covered the whole Wesley breaks the greenhouse.
Yes, that is one of the episodes that they covered. The Wesley breaks breaks the flowers and now must be executed.
Yeah. For folks who somehow missed that one, the general idea is on this law, the laws are only ever enforced in one small quadrant of the planet on any given day, and you never know which quadrant the laws are being enforced on. and the only penalty for breaking any law is an automatic death sentence. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
like-
So they're
right.
like, our planet is so peaceful because no one breaks any laws, because they know that they'll get the death penalty if they even like jaywalk.
Yes, exactly. They never know.
And so, that was one of the stupid planet laws. The other episode that they covered is from the original series, where they visit a planet has been at war with a neighboring planet, but because they don't want their stuff to get broken by having an actual war, they have like computers are simulating a war. But to make sure the war actually has consequences, the computer like says, all right, a bomb hit this city. Here's a list of everyone who died. And if your name is on this list, you have to like report to a government incinerator and be incinerated.
Wow. That one I missed. That one I did not see.
So the plot is that the computer says that they blew up the Enterprise because it like entered orbit while the bomb was being fired.
Oh, that's
so they're trying to so the people on the planet are trying to
force the
trick
Enterprise.
the entire crew of the Enterprise to beam down so they can be incinerated.
That is so fucking like, why would you think your bizarre fucking laws apply to space aliens?
The folly of
so yeah, so that was the other like dumb law that they covered. And that was like the first half of the show is them covering those two episodes with very stupid laws. And then they cover the second half is them ranting about an episode from the newest Star Trek. Where everyone I know had the same reaction to this episode, which was, I sure liked Ursula K. Le Guin's story, Those Who Leave Almalas too. Because the plot is that the planet that they're visiting, it turns out their planet's entire power structure is powered by a child suffering machine, so that they have to put a child into
an orphan crushing machine. It's so efficient.
No, not an orphan, because we meet his dad, and his dad is like, you're almost old enough to go in the orphan, like the child murder machine. And
oh, that's so silly.
Because the plot of the episode is like, some terrorists were trying to kidnap this kid who is called like the first servant. And Starfleet is all like, oh, well, we'll help this kid not be kidnapped. And then like they find out that the kid's dad was in on him getting kidnapped. And they're like, that sure is weird. Why would a parent want their kid to be kidnapped? And then at the end, it is revealed that he's about to go into a child suffering machine. And Starfleet does not stop it. Like, they just let this kid get put in the child suffering machine.
And their justification, I imagine, is the Prime Directive.
Yes, but the thing is like, the Prime Directive is also used in why they can't interfere with Wesley being executed. And it's also used in the Incinerator Planet story. But both of those stories end with them finding a loophole, so Wesley doesn't get executed and the crew of the Enterprise do not get put in the incinerator. This is the one that it's odd because they're like, well, there's just nothing we can do. We cannot stop them from putting children in the child death machine.
That would be wrong. That would be interfering.
Yeah, and literally everyone I have talked to about this episode is like, well, what they should have done is they should have revealed that it's a child death machine in like the halfway point of the episode, not the end. So then the Enterprise can be like, well, we can build you a generator that doesn't run on child suffering.
We can do that for you, you know, it wouldn't be a problem.
And then you have to, because the thing that's weird about it is usually when there's a weird law like this, they have some justification. Like,
yeah, like, oh, our planet was at war for centuries before now, and this is the one thing our ancestors agreed on that stopped us from tearing out one another's throats constantly.
Yeah, basically. So like the incinerator planet, their argument is like, well, if we don't do this, then they'll actually bomb us and our civilization will be ruined and we won't be able to progress.
Yeah.
And that at least has it's backward logic, but you can see how these aliens got to the stupid law.
Yes. Yes.
And the Wesley execution planet.
It has no name. It is simply the Wesley execution planet.
The podcast called it Fuck Planet because
fair, it doesn't deserve better. It's a very silly concept.
No. They call it Fuck Planet because they're like, hey, sex is great. Everyone should fuck everyone as long as you get consent. Like, so like Riker's on the landing party and is like, this seems like a great place. Until
he is.
Wesley. It's Fuck Party Planet. But
the problem with Fuck Planet is, yes, there are like nonstop orgies and whatever, but children get murdered for jaywalking.
Yeah. They at least they're doing that because what enforces their law is a big space thing that they think is God. So their justification for we have to execute Wesley for stepping on the flowers is God told us to. Yeah. And that again is more logic than we just have to put kids in the child suffering machine. Like there's no God told us to.
We don't like it either.
Like they're just doing it because they can. Yes. And so the episode would have been more interesting if it was a reveal halfway that they're Omelos. And Starfleet says, we can build you a generator that doesn't run on children. And they reject that generator for ... reasons. And they could literally have any reason and it would make it more interesting than the episode we got. Like, even if they're like, the volcano gods told us to, or if they said, well, if we stop murdering children now, then that makes all the children we already murdered pointless, and that means that we murdered them for nothing, so we're gonna keep murdering children so we don't feel bad.
It would actually be kind of like elegant and shit if it got to the point where the most vociferous defender of the child murder machine was somebody who had like 2 children eaten by it, you know?
Yeah, like that would have been more interesting than we have a child murder machine. That's how we power our planet. Yeah. The end.
That's just how it is.
I paid off my student loans. All the rest of you should have to too.
Exactly. I suffered, therefore you must also suffer.
Yeah.
The sunk child fallacy in the chat.
Yeah.
Child fallacy. Yes, that is what it is called. That is canon.
Child murder planet just going around doing child murder.
As one does.
Why? Because they're Omelos.
Spike, have you scrolled up in the shit posting chat in this channel?
No, why? What happened?
There's a good picture. I think you should see it.
Oh, you mean in the Discord? Okay.
Yeah, in the Discord. Yeah, just scroll up to shit posting.
Shit posting. Okay. What is all this shit?
There's a good
Is
pictures.
this what you people do?
Yeah, this is what happens when you're not paying attention.
Why are there fucking Croots in my goddamn... What is
Because Croots were the subject of conversation. Croots chat are croc boots.
this? Like, what the fuck? I don't really like pay attention to Discord. So
I know,
this is
that's why I
all-
knew you hadn't seen it, so I'm making sure you do.
Why is that dick just hanging out? What is this?
Oh, you went to the
What
rest,
is
huh?
that?
Oh, that's a naked mod for Silent. Was it? Yeah.
Why is
no,
all
for
this-
It's Resident Evil.
Why is all
It's
of this
yeah.
turning
People
him
want
on?
Leon to be naked in Resident Evil.
No, it's more than just naked, Kel.
That's pretty much naked. I don't know what you
No,
mean.
they're naked and just ragingly granite dicked. He's incredibly
That
turned on by the
doesn't make him
prospect
more
of his child
naked.
chopped into tiny pieces. What is this? What is the matter?
Child?
with you?
No, that's not the
Yeah.
same character, Spike.
Oh, it's not the father
No,
who's
no.
rescuing the baby? Okay.
This is a different character. This is Resident Evil 4.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
I am thinking...
Leon's the Bichon and Himbo main
Okay.
character,
Okay. Now I understand.
which is why people want him naked.
Turgid.
Yeah.
Just utterly
It's a
turgid.
waypoint finder. It points where you're going.
I see that. I see that.
I mean, it
very
doesn't
well.
really, but it should.
Anyway, another new Star Trek episode was basically, if you could time travel, would you kill baby Hitler?
Yes,
If I ever have to hear this again.
I would. I would kill baby Hitler. Wait. Okay, wait. So when you say kill baby Hitler,
Talking about time travel shit.
no. This is actually important. I need to know the parameters of this discussion. Can I come back to modern day?
Yes.
Okay. And if I come back to modern day, will it be known what happened? Or will it just be as if Hitler never existed?
It would be as if Hitler never existed.
Okay. All right. Then yes, I would be fine with that. Because I do think if you read enough shit on the internet, you understand that like there was gonna be another World War anyway. The break between World War I and World War II was just a break. It's like when you're at the end of the first act of a movie and somebody's walking away pointing going, "This isn't over." Like that's what happened after World War I. However, if it wasn't Hitler, if Hitler hadn't headed the Nazi party, I consider there would be a significantly reduced, not zero, but significantly reduced chance of the Holocaust, and I would be pretty fucking happy with killing Hitler and taking that chance that it would stop the Holocaust. Anti-Semitism was still a thing. Hitler didn't fucking invent that, but the possibility of a reduced chance of the Holocaust occurring would be worth the risk. It would be worth killing a child for, I should say, rather.
A baby.
A baby.
A literal infant. I don't give a fuck. It's Hitler.
I don't give a fuck either. I'm just saying, for semantics, it's a baby.
That don't mean shit to me.
I would also kill him, but I also think it would be pointless.
I don't know about pointless. I think it might change things. I wouldn't be able to guarantee it would change things.
It would change things, certainly.
Yeah, but like enough
who knows? Then my grandpa dies in the war, and I'm not born, and then I can't kill baby. This is why I don't like time travel conversations. They're dumb.
Yeah, there was God. You know, if we're talking about time travel,
no,
I'm
out. Bye.
You know.
No,
if we're trying to talk about time travel,
climbing out the goddamn window.
We have to talk about it. We have to fucking talk about it, everybody.
All right, here this is me opening my window.
There was a movie that came out recently.
No.
It has an extremely strong time travel element.
I'm getting
Which one?
My neighbors help me.
It's a superhero movie.
Which one?
Which one? Kel!
What do you mean? Yeah, which one? We don't keep up with that shit, Spike.
It stars a terrible man.
Which one? That doesn't
They're all starring terrible men.
No, I'm sorry.
Like...
A terrible non-binary person. Excuse me.
Okay, that does narrow it down, actually.
Okay.
But I still wouldn't know.
I don't think that's time travel. I think that's jumping into alternate universes.
What are we okay, what are we talking about?
We were talking about the Flash.
Okay, that dude.
Yes, that terrible person. That deeply
I don't
awful
think
human
so.
being.
Sorry for yelling.
I
I
have
don't know
not
if it
seen it,
disrupted
so someone in the chat might know better than me. But I'm pretty sure that is multiverse shit. That's not time travel.
See, the thing is, I watched a review of it, and they make it really difficult to make, like, that. They don't make it clear at all.
Well, see, Spike, that's because in the source material it's not clear. Because what he is doing is he is running so fast that he is breaking reality. And that is called the flashpoint.
Yes.
And it is incredibly stupid, and it has never been executed in a way that makes sense. It, like, every time a Flash anything media tries to, like, put Flashpoint in there, it is nonsense and doesn't make sense.
That is absolutely true. We agree on that completely.
Anyway, you did have to narrow down superhero movie that deals with time travel, because there are too many.
There are tons and tons. But see, Ezra Miller is. Have you been like paying attention?
To be fair,
I know that I know that they're a crazy person, and that they
they're
groomed
so
and manipulated a bunch of people, and they had some sort of nervous breakdown.
Committed a bunch of crimes.
Yeah.
Assaulted a few folks.
Yeah.
Wowie.
I'm not up to date on all their crimes, but I know
it's
that they
hard
have
to be
done
up to date
a
on
lot
all
of
their
them.
crimes.
Ezra Miller's goings-on are literally the only things I have known about anything Marvel Cinematic Universe related in probably 4 or 5 years.
And to show how little Amanda knows about superhero movies, Ezra Miller is in the DC Comics universe, not the
I forgot.
Marvel one.
I should know that. I used to read those. Actually, honestly, but to be fair, you could also substitute the exact same. I am so disconnected. I don't know shit. Actually, no. I did see some DCU ones because of my horrid family who dragged me.
But yeah, all I know about it is what I've seen reviewers write, and they are just paroxysms of wretchedness. They hated it so much. They just absolutely...
That is the least surprising thing, because the DC movies have not been good to begin with.
This is the thing I have
like
noticed.
This one is extra bad, so...
Yeah.
The only superhero shit I care about and give any attention to since like 2009 are Guardians of the Galaxy, which is kind of more superhero adjacent, and Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
If it ain't that, I don't care. I did enjoy the recent Suicide Squad movie, but I only saw that because people told me there were rats in it.
There were definitely rats in it.
It was a very pro-rat movie, and that was basically like, hey, Amanda, Harley Quinn's in it. I'm like, I'm so fucking tired of Harley Quinn. There's rats. I'm like, okay, I'm in.
Yeah, Harley Quinn certainly has undergone what probably qualifies as the least surprising of evolutions.
Oh, I don't mind her evolution.
I do.
I'm just tired of her. It is not that different. Like it's just
an oversaturation problem.
Like people say, "Oh, she's so different than she used to be." I'm like, I guess aesthetically, but like, not that different.
Yeah, I get you. I'm kind of just perpetually disappointed every time I see someone's new hot take on her, and it's somehow even more predictable than the last.
They know what sells, and they know.
Well, they know what sells to people like them. I'll say that.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, what sells in general, not so much, but what sells to people like them for sure.
Look, one of the costumes was gonna sell at Party City, and the other was not.
Yeah. It's like, what's that line? I expected nothing and was still let down. Like one of those.
I expected nothing and was still disappointed.
Yeah.
It's from Malcolm in the Middle.
Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of where I am. Yeah.
I'm gonna cut my own hair tonight.
Oh, really?
There you
How
go.
much you cut now?
A lot.
How much is a lot?
A fistful.
Oh my. So a bunch, a heap.
A heap.
There you go, Spike. I shared the GIF with you.
Is this in the shit posting area?
No, it's in
in
general.
our chat.
Okay.
I love my long hair. It's been lovely. I'm sick of it. I'm over it.
You're done now.
I'm done. It's going away.
Fair enough.
It's gonna probably be shoulder length or something, but I just can't. I can't do.
And now you're just
hair upkeep anymore.
And now you're just relentlessly sharing Dewey gifts, huh?
No.
Well, Dewey gifts are good.
Just those two.
Malcolm, I gotta rewatch Malcolm in the Middle. I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
It was one of
The
those shows my
episode that I remember, the episode I remember the most of Malcolm in the Middle is when the genius class that Malcolm is in gets a new teacher who refers to all of the students by their class rank, which is driving them all insane, except for Malcolm, because he is very easily the top student. And then Malcolm tries to organize everyone into failing a test because you can't rank people if they all got 0.
And he's the only one who goes through with it.
He's the only one who does, and as they're leaving the classroom, all of the kids apologize, except for his buddy in a wheelchair who goes, "I regret nothing." And like...
Yeah.
That was one of those shows that my family let me watch, and I was like, in retrospect, for a while I was confused why they let me, but then I realized I think a lot of the stuff that was more
risque,
transgressive went over their heads, so they didn't get it. They were just like, haha, bad things happen, funny. But yeah, I enjoyed that. I should rewatch it one day.
It took me a while to not just see Malcolm's dad every time I watched Breaking Bad. It took me a while. I had to like
listen. It's funnier if you just see Malcolm's dad.
Fair enough. But yeah,
one of my favorite things that came out of Breaking Bad is someone took a clip of Malcolm's dad being very excited and like doing a fist bump, and it says underneath, "Let's cook some meth."
Yeah. It was very weird because I was like, oh my god. You just kind of get that, like, hey, I know you. You're the funny man. This isn't funny.
He got the role because of an X-Files episode.
Really? I didn't know he was on an X-Files episode.
He's like the guest star of an episode. Like, he's driving a van that's getting chased, and like it's kind of I think the guy who ran Breaking Bad was on the like staff for writing the X-Files, which is why he knew like that Bryan Cranston was up to the task of being Walter White.
Yeah. I've been watching some stuff about like type. I get, what do they call it? Casting against type. That's the terminology I'm thinking of. I've been watching some stuff about casting against type. And one of the more interesting things that I found out is in the original Die Hard, you know, the movie people can't get fucking enough of, Die Hard, in the original Die Hard, what they really wanted, and it makes sense when you consider the time period that the movie was shot in and the kind of action hero favored in that time period, they really, really wanted Sylvester Stallone originally. And because, you know, he could do his Rambo thing, like, gar, rar, I have so many muscles, I shoot you. But Sylvester Stallone was like, yeah.
What was that what Rambo's about?
Honestly, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And
well, it's also about how we don't take care of our veterans and how cops are awful.
but they couldn't get him for whatever reason. They probably couldn't afford him. And they're like, okay, that's fine, whatever. We'll just use Arnold Schwarzenegger. And Arnold Schwarzenegger was like, no. It's like, oh shit, fuck. And they were like just going through all like the big beefy dudes who were like big beefy 80s action stars, and they couldn't get any of them. And then they're just like,
And
hey, you want
Bruce Willis was like a comedy actor.
Yeah, he was the Moonlighting guy. Moonlighting was a fucking God, I'm so old. Moonlighting was a sitcom, everybody. It was an evening sitcom. It was like a cute it was a relentless and endless meet cute evening sitcom. And he was kind of known as like the little smirky smartass kind of guy. He was not action hero guy. And they were like, well, you want to just fucking do Bruce Willis? And they're like, all right. And it turned out to be like this amazing thing because, you know, he's very cast against type. And that doesn't make sense now because that's how everyone pictures him, but he was at the time.
What I think is really good, thinking about an actor's type, this isn't necessarily casting against type. It's more playing into what you expect of a character, an actor's type. Is so in the movie version of Chicago, Richard Gere playing the lawyer that represents both Velma Kelly and Roxy. He tries to present to the public what it would be Richard Gere's type, but is actually a slimy, horrible person. So, like, so that is like going against type, but also like playing into it at the same time. Like,
yeah.
Because it's a con man who's trying to do Richard Gere's type.
Yeah. And this is also, I'm steadily getting more and more off topic here, but this also led me to an interview with Will Smith. And I learned a thing about Will Smith. To this day, he kind of, sort of is upset with the Wachowskis because in this interview, and I'm just going to quote him as directly as I can, he said, so they came up to me and they didn't sell it right. I just want to make that clear. They didn't sell it right. And that's why I said no. They were really excited about this camera rig they'd gotten together. And they said, so we're going to put you in this pose and the cameras are going to be all around you and they're going to shoot you from every angle. So when you jump, then the pan will be you from every possible angle. It's going to look amazing and you're going to look great. And that's how they tried to sell it to me. And that didn't make any sense to me. So of course I said no. And that's why
I mean, also,
I'm not,
to talk
hold on. And that's why I'm not Neo. And then he paused and he said, and instead I did Wild Wild West. I find that
like, and also in Will Smith's defense.
Okay.
When we were talking about, if you explain the plot of Game of Thrones, it sounds incredibly stupid.
Oh, it sounds so fucking dumb.
And if you explain the plot of The Matrix to someone who doesn't know what The Matrix is and like has no culture, like doesn't have any cultural osmosis, like it also sounds pretty dumb. Like,
I mean, I personally think The Matrix is very silly.
Yeah.
Well, The Matrix does exactly what The Matrix kind of wants to do. That's how I look at it.
Oh, I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying for me.
Yeah, I'm just saying this is more in Will Smith's defense.
Yeah.
If you came up to me before The Matrix came out and explained what The Matrix was,
yeah,
I'd be like, that sounds stupid as shit.
Yeah, and I guess Will Smith agrees with you there. But he's doing that thing. I see some actors do this occasionally where they talk about like the one that got away and how they're just like, fuck. And like to this day, they're just like about it. And apparently being Neo in The Matrix is his, god damn it, because they came to him first.
Yeah. I wonder what Eddie Murphy thinks of the Ghostbusters.
Yeah, because he was supposed to be the Venkman character.
No, he wasn't supposed to be Venkman. He was supposed to be the black guy. I forget his name. Because he is the least developed character in the movie.
He really is. I kind of see what they're going for there, but they really did not develop him. No.
Yeah, I think they do it better in the sequel.
Yeah.
But also, like, all the characters are like very one note description, and their actor is what's developing them. So like,
chat says Winston.
Winston. Okay, so like, if Eddie Murphy, so he's probably underdeveloped in the first one because they're like, we'll get Eddie Murphy and then he'll figure out how to make this character pop. And then they didn't. And Eddie Murphy went on to make Beverly Hills Cop instead. And
well, people like Beverly Hills Cop.
Yes, but it is not a cultural juggernaut.
According to Kristen in the chat, they did have the character developed. They cut it all after Ernie Hudson got the part.
Yeah, and I also have heard some pretty crazy shit about Ghostbusters in the sense of like, bro, are you sure? Like, because apparently Dan Aykroyd has some very bizarre ideas.
Yeah, he thinks ghosts are real. He wanted Ghostbusters to be a serious movie and was talked out of it.
Yeah. He's a weird dude, and he wanted it like the first draft of Ghostbusters took place on a space station and shit. It was
it's also like kudos to the guy that played Egon, because he was the one who was like he was the one who was like, this is nonsense. And I will fix your movie. And kudos to Dan Aykroyd for listening to his buddy.
Yeah.
And not being like, no, it must be a deadly serious movie that's set on a space station.
Right.
You know, yes, he believes in weird shit, but he also listened to his buddy.
Yes. Yeah, Harold Reitman?
Harold Ramis.
Not Ramis, it's
Ramis.
Reiner.
Ramis.
Someone will get us. Someone will get us.
I'm telling you, I'm getting this from the chat.
Harold Ramis. Yeah. I fucking loved Egon.
Like,
he was my absolute favorite. He was my absolute fucking favorite in the movie. I love Egon. I love I collect various molds, spores, and funguses. I love his shit. He's weird. I fucking loved him so much. As a child, I loved him. And he was just like my favorite character. And I think I've mentioned this before, but like the only reason I have even an inkling of an interest in Ghostbusters Afterlife is it's about Egon. Functionally, it's about Egon. And I would absolutely fucking love to see that play out. I want to see that happen. He was my favorite. He was just always my favorite.
I didn't like that movie.
I mean, yeah.
I loved him because he was incredibly just like unamused by everything.
Finally sat down to try to watch Ghostbusters, and when I got to like the ghost blowjob scene, I was like,
yeah, that they just fucking throw in there.
It's not the scene itself, it's where it was in the movie. It's not that, it wasn't that scene was my cutoff point. It was all the events around that. That's just the most memorable part. It was at this part of they were basically doing a bunch of montage scenes, and they were so like,
to show how famous they got,
and it was so boring. And I was like, I'm out. I can't, like, I had not laughed since the movie started, so that was my all right. I don't think it's getting better. Goodbye.
Yeah.
I don't think it gets better from here.
I was talking to someone, and I was like, I feel like Ghostbusters rests a lot on if you find Bill Murray charming.
And I did not.
Ooh, that's a fair thing to say.
I disliked that character very much, and it's like when all the other characters were on screen, I was like, all right, but then he would come back, I'm like, oh fuck, he's back.
Yeah, he passes for charming in the 80s for sure.
But like, even at the time it came out, like, there are people who don't like Bill Murray that like,
for sure, yeah.
We're not in that,
yeah. I'm not saying otherwise. But there were that definitely passed for funny and charming in the 80s, definitely.
People in the past suffered.
Yeah, yeah, I think about that sometimes, what we kind of put up with in the past, because there's just like, what option did we have to simply not participate in media whatsoever?
Mm-hmm.
So,
there are a lot of movies like that. That this movie only works if you find Bill Murray charming.
yeah, I would argue you are correct.
Okay, good. I silently.
I'm
cried.
thinking. I'm thinking.
Congratulations, me.
I'm thinking of Groundhog Day.
Yeah.
That movie. If you don't like Bill Murray, that movie is insufferable.
I will admit, I have not seen Groundhog Day.
I saw it as a little thing, and I have no memories of it except the dancing groundhog animatronic thing. It did a little dance with its arms just sort of going up and down. I do remember that.
That are you sure that's Groundhog Day and not Caddyshack?
Oh yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Then I have not seen Groundhog Day.
Well,
all I remember
if we ever
is
start
little...
doing that, watching classics movies again, Amanda.
Oh no.
Just your oh no.
It's like I do some days are like I want to get back to doing that, but then I think about some of the things on the list and I'm like
no, yeah.
The musical's pretty
I like
good.
people screaming at you in the chat. That's Caddyshack.
I don't look. I only know 5 things, and that's not one of them.
The Groundhog Day musical's pretty good. Mostly because they rewrote it so it's not dependent on you finding Bill Murray charming.
Honestly, if we just did musicals, I kind of would rather just do musicals. But I don't know. We'll see. Life has been so fucking... There are days, like, my problem with... I would love to go back and do the movie thing, but there's a part of me that's like, there are days where it's like, I don't fucking want to watch a movie. I don't. I would rather die.
To be fair, Amanda, you have liked almost all the movies that we watched. And I say almost because obviously you hated Heathers.
Yes.
But you did like all the other ones that we watched.
I did. So I'm not saying like it's rational how I feel. I'm saying when I'm in a bad, not even a bad one, when I'm tired, I already have such a weird, like, I don't want to sit down and watch a movie. It's just, I don't enjoy the activity. Or rather, I historically have not enjoyed the activity. Because like I said, I did enjoy the ones we saw. This is not rational. This is more of a, Amanda's being cranky and is falling back on her old habits.
Spike, the musical of Groundhog Day is written by Tim Minchin.
Oh, hey.
Who I know you enjoy.
I do enjoy him very much.
Yeah, so he adapted Groundhog Day into a musical. So if you find a slime tutorial for Groundhog Day,
I may have to find a slime tutorial. Yes.
Yeah, the musical was pretty good.
Okay. Yeah, for folks who wonder why I perked up immediately at the mention of that man's name, I strongly suggest you search Tim Minchin Storm. And it's like, yeah, that's my opinion. That is literally my opinion there on everything. On literally everything, there it is right there.
And then didn't he also have that, isn't he also the one who made that song that was Fuck the Pope?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. That is also a great example.
There's he also wrote the Matilda musical, Spike, which is on Netflix now.
Oh.
Okay.
I want to watch that.
I have not seen the Matilda musical, so I cannot judge
the Matilda
if it's
musical
good or not. Yeah.
That's something I forgot was coming out, and I do want to watch.
Yeah. So.
Do you know if it's more based on the book or the movie?
Like I said, all I know is Tim Minchin.
No. I know you hadn't seen it. I just don't know if you heard more than me.
Everything I saw about it was Tim Minchin music, people mad about Emma Thompson wearing a fat suit, and that's kind of all I got.
Sorry, my brain's
So-
tired.
That's okay.
For people who don't know, Emma Thompson plays Trunchbull, and they put her in a fat suit to play Trunchbull.
Okay.
Which why not just get a bigger lady to play her? But okay.
I mean, my thing is, here's the thing: if they auditioned to bigger ladies and they just didn't make the cut, that's fine. Like, I don't know. I do not know how they auditioned. Like, I'm not personally, as a fat chick, against someone in a fat suit. It's more, did they put in the effort to try and it just didn't work out?
And the fact that it's Emma Thompson, who is already a big name,
Yeah.
I'm assuming that they just went to big names.
Yeah, I think that's an incredibly. All right. Oh God. You're gonna make me say unpopular shit. All right.
Oh, we're the ones who are gonna make you. You've never done it unprovoked, unprompted.
Yeah, this is all on you. This is all on you. Basically, here's the thing. I am acutely aware these days more than ever, for various reasons, how much name recognition drives literally everything everybody does everywhere. I'm not saying I like it. I'm saying it's just the same way, like, I'm aware of capitalism. I'm not saying I like it. I'm saying it's a thing I am forced to contend with, whether I like it or not, and pretending it is not a factual reality of functioning in the current hellscape will do me no favors. And I absolutely understand where people are coming from, where if you are making a musical and the musical is clearly a light, like, this isn't Lin-Manuel Miranda in off Broadway writing his fanfic. This is a licensed musical that is paying, I am absolutely sure, the most ungodly and thoroughly violating licensing fee, and needs to figure out a way to still somehow turn a profit with that. Like, yes, because of that licensing fee, they're going to get a massive audience they wouldn't otherwise get. But the people who sold the licensing fee are extremely aware of that and made them pay through the nose for it.
Yeah.
So they need to figure out a way to stack the deck to make this worth doing in the first place. And while they could have definitely auditioned fat actresses for sure, and it is a absolutely fair argument to say they should have gone out of their way to audition famous fat actresses to play Trunchbull, I will not even fucking try and come for you if that is your opinion. Like, okay. At the same time, I can understand why in the Harry Potter musical they decided to go with Emma Thompson.
The Matilda musical.
The Matilda, sorry.
Potter.
I'm sorry.
There is no Harry Potter
going.
musical as far as I know.
There is one.
What?
There is a Harry
No,
Potter
that's
musical.
just a stage play. It's not a musical.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
And
Man, if there was a musical, there'd be no way it wouldn't be bad. There's just no way it wouldn't be bad.
Yeah. I mean,
okay, there's no official Harry Potter musical. There's like a joke one that was online for a while.
But I at the same time, I can kind of see why people make the choices they do when it comes to stuff like that.
Yeah, like the fat ladies that have names as recognizable as Emma Thompson.
Few and far between, not necessary.
Few and far between. Also, they wanted everyone to be English.
Oh, okay, that's another limitator.
Here's the thing. I'm more forgiving of like stage productions than I am of like film and TV.
Oh, so the Netflix one is a movie that's based off the stage musical. So this isn't even on stage. This is
I have completely retracted my opinion. Never mind.
Because the stage musical has been in production for a while, so a lot of people have played Trunchbull.
Oh, okay. See, I wasn't aware of that. I didn't realize it was a movie, and now my opinion is extremely different. Now I am kind of like, again, I'm not like I will boycott this, blah blah, but I am side eye. Ugh.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Understandable.
I still am gonna see it, but I'd rather see the stage version.
Mm-hmm.
See, I'm more forgiving of like stuff on stage because like I don't know, you have so many concessions you have to make.
Oh yes.
Yeah. I have seen a slime tutorial of the Percy Jackson musical, which is a bunch of mid-20-somethings pretending to be 12-year-olds.
Okay.
And that's very funny.
Oh, what was that?
Something fell. Oh, I see what it was. Okay, I'll get that later. Oh God.
I was thinking, is this ravioli related?
No, this is bad adhesive related.
But
Also,
yeah, the
bad
Percy
paint
Jackson
related.
The Percy Jackson musical, bunch of 20-year-olds pretending to be 12-year-olds. Very funny.
Is it a stage one?
Yeah, it's a stage one.
Oh, okay then.
There's also like almost no set. It's interesting in like how limited it is.
Oh my God, my neighbors are yelling.
Uh-oh.
Well, I say neighbors, but I live near pretty. Well, I don't know. My area is interesting.
Uh-huh.
I live at the end of a street. It's basically where a major highway kind of starts. So it's this weird kind of. It's kind of busy, but it's still pretty much residential. It's weird. So a lot of the voices I hear are not actually my neighbors. They are people walking up and down the street to go to the gas station or get the bus to go further into the city. So they're just people.
Right.
But I call them my neighbors because it's just they're adjacent to me. But yeah, no, there's people drunk on the street yelling. They sound very happy though.
Yeah, I get a couple of those myself. I live close to multiple bars, and we know when the bars let out. Because suddenly people will do this thing. Well, they'll go to their cars, and you can always tell who like the designated driver is because they'll be like standing off to the side, just leaning on the car, fucking around on their phone, while everyone else is kind of in the parking lot. And there is this
doing their
ritual.
absolute best to make it to the car.
Yeah, and there's this ritual that people now go through, which is kind of fascinating, I have to say, where they, and I want to say this is like mostly women, but definitely not exclusively women, where after the bar lets out, they'll be in the parking lot or they'll be in the side street or wherever on their way to the car, and they will all stop in a little cluster, and then one will exit the cluster, and in the middle of the sidewalk or against the side of a building or against a tree or against a total stranger's car, they will start twerking and posing and doing like a little sexy dance and mugging. And they'll do that for about 15 or 20 seconds. And then they will stop and they will run back to the cluster and they will inspect the video that has been taken.
Oh yeah, that's not new.
And if it is not acceptable, they will go back and they will do it again. And everyone will get to do one of these. Everyone gets a twerk. Everyone gets a dance. Everyone gets a sort of like, I'm going to hump this tree sexily because I'm like 5 beers deep and I'm feeling real good. And they spend like maybe 20 or 30 minutes doing this. And I would say it has maybe a 8 to 10% chance of ending in a fight.
Yeah. I say this is pretty classic behavior. There was only a brief pause in it between when disposable cameras were everywhere and when phones could take good videos and pictures.
Yeah.
That was, I think, the brief pause in this behavior.
Yeah, it's kind of amusing, I have to say.
I remember the disposable camera days and people doing exactly that shit, just, with less movement because...
Yeah, camera. This is what youth is.
Us talking about Matilda has now made me think of the awful Willy Wonka movie they're making.
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah, it's horrible.
Wait, I just saw that. Fuck, I do know what you're talking about. Fuck, I do know what you're talking about.
It's horrible. I hate that exists.
Yeah, I called my husband over because I was watching a YouTube video on the TV and it played. And I was like, Matt, come here. What is this? And he goes, what do you mean? And then he just stopped and he just made this face like he smelled shit.
It's awful. I hate it. I hate that it exists.
They won't stop. They won't fucking stop. They won't stop. They're gonna just... it's so.
I just
by
don't
the
have strong
numbers.
Willy Wonka opinions.
No,
I just
well,
don't.
here's the thing. I don't have strong Willy Wonka opinions either, other than lol. I guess this is why they tell us to see the movie and not read the book. But it's just one of those deals where it's so by the numbers when you watch the whole, when you watch the thing, you know how it's going to go. It's like, capitalist yosh ganbate kind of bullshit plot where, oh, Willie just wants to make the bestest chocolate in the whole wide world. Oh, he's gonna
get all his little slaves to help him.
All his little slaves are gonna help him. But it's like, oh, here he is. He's trying so hard to make the good chocolate, but Choco Co. They say, no, chocolate must be bad. We will stop Willy Wonka from making tasty chocolate that makes children dream because we're evil. No. And it's just so fucking by the numbers. And I'm all like, really? Like, this is what you're doing? It's just real bad.
Someone pointed out that Timothy, what's his name, who's playing Wonka, his outfit is the same as Gonzo in Muppets Christmas Carol.
Oh, is that what that was referencing? I saw that picture and I was like, I don't know who this man is. Yeah. I saw that picture and I just was like, who's this man who's wearing Gonzo's clothes? I don't know.
Yeah,
now you know.
It's just real tiresome. It's just deeply
I like that
tiresome.
it's like, no, I recognize Gonzo. Do not recognize contemporary, currently popular actor.
It's just so tiring. It's so fucking tiring.
That's casting against type.
Yeah, it's
playing broody pretty boys.
What if he's a pretty boy in the Wonka movie?
He's trying very hard to be silly.
Okay.
It ain't working.
In the trailer he is doing his best Gene Wilder impression, which is not very good, but
it's a lot of singing in the rain, kind of, oh, aren't I whimsical kind of thing, and it's just like, no, not really, but okay.
I see.
He's trying, when I descend from the bus, I will take my my umbrella handle and I will hook it around the lamppost and I will magically twirl around it like the stripe on a barber pole down to the ground with one foot stuck out jauntily and one foot kicked up in the back. And it's like, oh, only
I want to do that. That sounds
really
fun. I want to do that.
And it's just like, oh.
Get me up there. Spike, hoist me up there. Hoist me up.
It's just so by the fucking numbers.
Hoist me up there with my umbrella. I want to jauntily spin down, but I can't get there on my own.
I did hear one good argument for this movie existing, which is Warner Brothers is trying really hard to make you forget about Johnny Depp Willy Wonka.
Good luck.
He's pretty memorable.
They want you to think of this boy and Gene Wilder, and
I mean, super fucking creepy white teeth bite your fingers off Wonka's pretty memorable.
Yeah,
that is a take.
It's
gotta have nightmares about that Wonka biting your fingers off with his very clean, sharp, straight teeth. Yes, he has those teeth.
Yes.
If there's like, oh, we deleted the scene where he bites the children's fingers off. I'm like, yeah, I believe it.
Yeah. It's just, when I see stuff like that, I understand why it happens. I'm perfectly aware of why this happens. But it's still incredibly...
It also exists because the Roald Dahl estate wants to stay relevant.
Yeah.
That's why they recently re-released all his books that were edited.
I'll bet they're edited. I'll fucking bet you they're fucking edited.
I love that people are like, oh, it's the woke agenda. It's like, no, that's just an estate that wants to make money.
Yeah.
It's an estate that wants to make money off their dead racist relative.
They're dead super duper racist.
It's like nobody fucking made them do this. They just knew they weren't going to make money if they didn't.
Yeah. They want to keep that going in perpetuity. They don't want their great grandchildren working. They want to make money off of this as long.
If I were in their shoes, I'd be doing the same goddamn thing.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to work if you have Roald Dahl as a grandpa.
I don't care.
You don't have to.
I do not care.
Yeah.
I'd whore
apparently
I'd whore out my grandpa's
Witches
IPs,
remake,
but he worked for a sausage company.
If apparently that Witches movie that HBO made, in its defense, the effects looked interesting, and they kept the book ending.
Wait, is that which one? Who's in that one?
The remake has Anne Hathaway in it.
But which is the one you're talking about? Is that the one?
Witches.
Yeah.
Anne Hathaway. Yeah, it kept the book ending.
Okay, so the Anne
where
Hathaway
the children stay mice.
The child stays mouse. Yes.
The child stays mouse. Okay.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure the other child dies.
The other child, no, he's magically turned back into a child at the very end.
But the one child does stay a mouse. But it's a comfort because his grandma's like, the grandma won't live long either, so hey, they'll die around the same time.
Yeah, it was he's like, Grandma, who will take care of me as a mouse when you die? And she's like, mice don't live that long.
Yeah. That is exactly how it goes.
Yep.
They did, however, change the end of the big friendly giant. I do remember that, which I thought was pretty.
Well, they changed the end of a lot of the stuff that got adapted in the 90s.
Yeah, I remember thinking that was real stupid.
Oh, okay, Kristen says the other mouse child died originally. Yes, that's what I was thinking of, like the book, right?
Yeah. I really liked the animation in James and the Giant Peach.
Yeah, me too.
There's some cool monsters, especially that rhino in the clouds.
I fucking love that rhino. It was good. Like, that's all fucking practical effects bullshit. It looks so good. It is all practical effects, isn't it?
I think so. I think the animation was stop motion.
Yeah, like, oh, it was so fucking good. I remember some people being like, oh, it doesn't make any sense. Fuck off. It's pretty and it's impactful. It's art. Go away. I'm going to dunk you in a toilet, nerd.
That's exactly what you said.
I mean, if I could have, I would have, but they were dorks on the internet and I couldn't bully them.
Oh.
Not in the way that matters.
I want to bully them in a meaningful way.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. I'm thinking right now, I probably shouldn't be talking about this, but I am thinking.
No one's, again, once again, neither of us are goading you or have a gun to you being like, do it, Spike, say the bad thing.
I'm thinking right now, on Twitter, that sweet, loving, dying website on Twitter, you know, the elderly relative we keep in the back room that smells faintly of like piss and medicinal powders.
God, Spike.
Every time the doctor visits, he comes out of the room, and when we give him a hopeful look, he just puts his stethoscope back in his black leather bag and looks at us and looks away and shakes his head, and we understand the end approaches. Twitter. There's a thing I posted there, and it basically went, there's probably a really good horror movie in the idea of you are the sibling of a neurodivergent person who has basically been targeted by the internet.
Oh yeah, you did. We talked about this in a previous episode.
Okay, yeah, and someone was all like, that doesn't happen. And it's like, oh honey, oh no, I have some terrible fucking news for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just...
No, the Chris Chan shit has always given me the most like full body sweaty hives because my brother's autistic and obviously my brother is not Chris Chan. He's not anything like him, and it's more the fear of him being manipulated if he runs into the wrong crowd has been so fucking strong. And I've been so grateful. He has the best friends. He is doing fine. But when I found out, like, it's like, oh, I have internet friends, and they want to invite me out to Chicago to hang out. And that was one of the reasons I went with him that one time when we came to your place, Spike. It was like, I was like sweating bullets. Like, no, like, again, it's just like, this people are awful. People are bad sometimes. And it was just like, no, they're real. And they love him. They're good people. Okay. That's one of the reasons I like collapsed on your fucking sofa. And that's all I did. I was like, no, you have no idea. I've been like shaking and sweating for days. I'm going to lie on your sofa with your terrible little dog.
My beautiful little dog, you mean?
Your beautiful, terrible little goblin. I was so just relieved that they were not assholes and they were just real people who loved him and wanted to hang out with him. And I was like, I'm sorry, Chris Chan ruined my expectations of how people are to people on the internet. So I will now collapse and
it's
be growled at.
And the thing is, the scary thing is there's no predicting that. You can't really predict who they're going to decide to focus all their energy on.
No.
And it can be argued, they make people a whole lot fucking worse with their attention, that people aren't as bad as they are until they suddenly gain the jaundiced eye of the internet. And it's just kind of, it's happening over and over and over again right now. Like, I'm quite frankly amazed anyone can not see it happening, because it's happening to multiple people like right now. And it's just like, wow, you just don't even, how do you not see this happening? This is a thing multiple people are trying to do. Like, as horrible as it sounds, with Chris Chan, a template was basically forged. And now kind of people have this whole rigmarole they go through to do this. And you can see it repeating itself when they find a new person to torment. And they are not equipped to kind of defend themselves. And it takes more than that person not being equipped to defend themselves. Like, those people don't have Amandas. You know what I mean? They don't have anyone looking out for them in any real way. Or people who just like, they don't understand what's going on. Like, they're not like me. They're not like this little shithead on the internet who is perfectly aware of truly how terrible people can be to one another.
Well, think about how often we see someone who's neurotypical and your response to them on the internet is like, your friends clearly don't love you.
Yes. Holy fuck, yes.
It's like, if you had friends who loved you, they would intervene right now. Yeah. And that's for like neurotypical people too. So
there are times I've seen posts and it's just like, you don't have a friend in the world. You have no one willing to be honest with you.
If someone cared about you, they would like have a conversation with you right fucking now, but they don't. No one cares about you. Holy shit. Yeah. Make some good friends.
Yeah, that reminded me of, there was an Emerald City Comic Con where there was a very old white man cosplaying Geordie LaForge.
Oh no, I know where this is going.
And you know exactly what he did wrong.
Oh no, he went all the way. No,
all the way. Yeah, all the way. Broke out the burnt cork and everything.
And at the same show, there were a group of 20-somethings that were also in blackface cosplaying zombies from one of the Resident Evil games that takes place in Africa.
No!
So I was like, I judge the 20-year-olds way more because the old man was alone. So there was no one to say, rethink this. Rethink these decisions. Like, he was on his own, no one was with him, and he's an old man. But the 20-somethings, there were like 5 of them. So that means all 5 of them were like, yes, this is the correct choice.
I am thinking right now that if I had the Blumhouse team in a room, I would just say, okay, here's the deal. Here's the deal.
Oh, that's the movie making people, right?
Yeah, Blumhouse are kind of... Are you aware of the theory of fast, cheap, and out of control?
Yes, we've had this discussion before. You introduced me to the Blumhouse dorks.
Yeah, and like they're kind of like the A24 of horror. And one of the interesting things about horror, just as a genre, is it can be incredibly cheap to make.
Real quick, Snakehoof asks, why would you cosplay the zombies from Resident Evil 5? here's the thing. Some people are just looking for an excuse to be racist. They're just looking for any like flimsy excuse to be like, aha, it's related to a thing, so I can go, like, we can do it. They're just waiting for something to come along that can even like slightly justify them being terrible.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, they clearly were doing it to flaunt their bad decisions in everyone's face.
Yeah. So
whereas the old man, he probably just liked Geordie LaForge.
Yeah, but he still needs to be taken aside.
Yes, 100%.
He does. And the fact that he's alone, it's like, that means there was no one.
Yeah. Y'all remember when Hetalia was like really big?
Yeah. Do you know it's still ongoing and there's still multiple publications?
I did not know that.
I learned that recently and had sort of a stare out the window towards the sea moment.
Yeah, hello darkness, my old friend.
Yeah.
Moment.
Yeah, there was a lot of,
I could walk into,
I'm cosplaying, and I would have, oh my fucking god.
Yeah.
Oh,
I could easily walk into Lake Michigan. I could do it right now. It would only take me like 10 minutes.
Spike, do you know about the Anime Boston incident in Hetalia?
Is this when like a bunch of people showed up dressed as literal Nazis and they were all smirky and like, I'm from Hetalia?
Oh, it's way worse than just that.
Oh, fantastic.
Wee.
All right, let's get this over with. What is it?
We're sitting down in our comfy chairs.
The convention center that Anime Boston takes place in is across the street from the Holocaust Memorial.
Oh, fantastic.
Great.
So they decided to have a photo shoot.
Oh.
And do you know what pose they did while having the photo shoot?
I bet I can guess.
I hurt everywhere.
Yeah, like I said, it gets so much worse.
You know, if I open my window, I could honestly, if I open my window, start walking north, and don't stop, I'll be at Lake Michigan in about 7, maybe 6 minutes. That sounds good right now. Bye.
Yeah, honestly, like, I think that shit would happen a whole lot less often if everybody just fucking put their, their adult pants on and it was just like, okay, we're not even having this discussion. Blanket ban. No excuses. You're never coming back if you do this ever.
I mean, they probably did get banned.
Well, I think a lot of cons do that now, but back in the day, I remember a lot of fucking wibbling.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah, it's just, if there are consequences to your I'm shit posting in real life, I bet you do it a whole lot less. It's a lot easier to be a piece of shit from behind a screen,
I this is only vaguely related.
Also, I think it depends on the type of shit posting.
Yeah. I mean, there's the kind of shit posting when you decide to cosplay as that painting of Jesus that woman ruined trying to restore. I mean, that is some fabulous shit posting. I encourage you all to try that. But yeah, and then there's just, you're literally looking for an excuse to dress up as a Nazi and actually actively ruin other people's day.
You vaguely reminded me of when I was playing my Dino game, and I was in this group that was mostly teenagers, and I was I don't know how this topic came up, and I was explaining to them to the seme and the uke the yaoi paddles, and they were just horrified, like, wait. People went out in public and smacked each other's strangers' asses with a paddle, and I was like, yes. And they were just in horror.
And once again, only slightly related, but there have been two specifically cases recently. Excuse me. There's a certain kind of person who literally has nothing to contribute. Zero. Like, they're not original. They're not funny. They're not insightful. They have nothing to share with the world.
Fucking ear, Spike.
Stop it. But for some reason, they still want everyone's attention the same way, like, your uncle breaks out the camera at Christmas time and your cousin just bolts in front of the camera but has nothing to say or do. So they just start going, woo, 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 and dancing around and waving their arms. They just want to be on camera. They contribute nothing, but they want to be.
That's a contribution.
And the kind of person I'm talking about are the kind of people who have recently straight up started being arrested. And I could not be fucking happier about it. Because there was this one guy who decided he needed to be TikTok famous. But again, he had no talents. So he decided his thing was he was going to go up to people in the street with his camera running, just go, I'm going to fucking kill you. And just follow them around going, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to follow you home and kill you. I'm going to kill you. And then record their reaction. And then laugh. And that was his air quotes prank. And it's like, why? Fucking why? But yeah, he got arrested for terroristic threats, and I'm really happy about it. Yeah, he should be. He should be fucking arrested. Also, I think there should definitely be a bar of use of social media for like 10 years, straight up.
Oh, wait. I forgot I could do that.
Lord. Yeah, there's another guy who would like go up to people in the fucking supermarket. Like, and all right, keep in mind he's doing this to women who are like on their own in the supermarket and they're just like minding their own business, doing their shopping. And you go up and just start touching their hair. And they'd be like, what are you doing? And he's like, you smell really nice. What's your name? And they'd be like, get away from me. And he's like, haha, you're scared. It's like, yeah, asshole. You're a strange man touching someone in the supermarket, coming on to them. Like, that's like shooting someone going, haha, you screamed. Yes, it's a normal reaction. It's like fucking, it's so, oh yeah, and there was the British kid who stole an old, and keep in mind, it's an old woman's dog. It's like one of those little white powder puff dogs. It's clearly like elderly companion dog. And she was just sitting in the park on a bench with the dog on a leash. And he just walked up going, oh, that's a cute dog. Oh, what's his name? And he's like, oh, yes, he's very friendly. And the kid just scooped it up and ran with it, giggling. Like, really ran with it. Like, it wasn't a bit. He just stole it.
Off topic, but related to dogs.
I fucking hate
there was the thing going around Twitter where a lady posted... so on a flight, I sat next to this lady who had a service companion dog. And the dog kept barking at me, like making little yip noises at me. And the lady then turns to me and says, so this is none of my business, but you might want to get your heart checked out. And then she ends the story with, and that's how I found out I had an irregular heartbeat.
Oh, because that's what the dog was trained to detect?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's stories I have heard about a dog like this, and it's not even just a story. I saw the dog do this. I saw the dog in action doing this. There's this woman she was like an older lady, like 50 or 60, and she had a dog, and it was one of those little pocket dogs. And whenever she noticed, the dog did not like start off life doing this. The dog was several years old. She'd had it for a very long time, and it started doing this suddenly. Whenever she lay down on the couch or sat down on the couch or was in some way at a way where the dog could get at her naked calf. So if she was like wearing shorts or something, the dog would run up and start growling and barking and licking at a spot on her leg. And it was, when you get older, you develop spots. And she just noticed the dog really did not like this one, like irregular patch on her leg. And she went and got it removed, and it was precancerous. Yeah. So the dog, it wasn't trained or anything. The dog just like really didn't like this patch on her leg. And that's fucking, and the thing is, you're like, that sounds kind of bullshit. But then you realize there have been trials where they have literally had cancer patients.
Oh yeah, there's cancer sniffing dogs now. Like
the dogs can smell cancer, but it's stuff like the irregular heartbeat. They have to be trained to pick up that's wrong.
I mean, they do have to train them to smell cancer, but yeah.
Well, yeah, they have to train them to signal when they do smell cancer.
Yeah, they have to understand. Oh, they can probably smell it. They just don't know it's something they should care about. You have to train them to go, no, that smell, important.
Yeah, exactly. Because they smell all kinds of shit all the time, all day, every day. And it's important that you make it clear to them which smells should be mattering to them. So, yeah.
God, God, I think about the day I was having that panic attack and at my desk and Ravioli just came up and like pressed herself into my chest. And I was like, oh. And I calmed down. Then the moment I calmed down, she was like, oh, you're feeling better? Chomped me. And I was like, hey.
Sounds like a cat.
It's like, oh, you're feeling better? Are you not panicking? Okay, good. I don't feel bad about doing this. Nyam, 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 nyam.
Yeah, that sounds like a cat.
I love you, but also,
I'm so glad Ravioli came into your life.
she's a good girl.
She's
a
a
good baby.
Fucking Reading Rainbow sound.
It's not the Reading Rainbow sound.
We've had this discussion. It is.
It is not. It
It
is
is.
similar, but it's my mother.
Your mom's Reading Rainbow. Got it.
I wish my mom was reading.
Look,
Take
I'm
a
just.
look. It's
It's
in a book.
Reading Rainbow.
Rainbow.
Reading Rainbow. Look, the inside kids know. The inside kids know.
Butterfly.
You mean the old kids?
I can fly twice as high.
high.
Take a look. It's in a book. It's Reading Rainbow. Hey, I liked Reading Rainbow.
I'm not saying I didn't like it, but I have to hear y'all sing out of sync, so this is my contribution.
Yeah, see. I also remember, all the Gen X inside kids remember. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego?
That's not just Gen X.
Oh, I love that fucking show so much.
Yeah, there's a new Carmen Sandiego.
There's been
show.
multiple.
Oh.
Yeah.
Does it have what are those fucking dudes called?
Well, it was
doo-wop
the
guys.
cartoon. The newest one's a cartoon. So
Okay, so it doesn't have Esapatha Murkison, so I don't care. Got
I
it.
don't fucking know who that is.
That's the police chief.
I don't fucking know who that is.
At least I think it is. Oh no, you know what? I think she might be the police chief on Law and Order. I might be thinking of another black lady police chief. Hold on.
Wow, Spike.
The world is Carmen Sandiego. That's some good shit. That's some good shit. Steal my soul in South Korea. Da, 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 da. From the Red Sea to Greenland, they'll be singing the blues.
that's some good acapella.
That's what they're called, acapella. Thank you. And they were just
Acapella is the type of music. That's
Rockapella
not
is
the
what
name
they
of
were
the guy.
called. Yeah, they were called
Okay.
rockapella.
Okay.
And yeah, okay, so no, I don't want the cartoon. I want the actual people. Lynn Thigpen. That's who I'm thinking of. Oh no, she's dead. Oh no, what happened?
She's probably.
Oh no! Cerebral hemorrhage. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, I love Lynn Thigpen so much. She was the chief on Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego. Apparently, I watched a whole thing about it. I think it was Defunct Land. They did a special about it.
Yeah, one jury just said that.
Oh yeah. My favorite thing I found out from the Defunct Land special, everybody, is so Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego aired on like PBS and everything. They sold the rights to PBS to make that game show for $0 0. They gave them the rights for free after years of trying unsuccessfully to negotiate rights with places like Disney, because they consulted a marketing friend, and the marketing friend said, "You're looking at this the wrong way. What you have is an opportunity to sell more video games, not an opportunity to make money from licensing a show. Give it to someone who has a really good idea what they're going to do with the IP, and let them do what they want and just sell video games. That's your job. Your job is not licensing. Your job is making video games." And they're like, "Oh, okay." So they gave the idea.
It worked.
Yes, and it worked like a charm, because now there's like millions of kids who like fucking, oh my god, that song, that was the original jam. Oh my god. It was a really, really fucking good show.
I mean, it's a very catchy tune.
Yeah. And yeah, they had to beg Lynn Thigpen to like be on the show. They had to beg her, because she was all like, "No, I got some Broadway shit going on. I don't want to do that." And they're like, "No, please, please, please." And apparently they like invited her to a dinner, like, and they just begged her over the course of the business dinner. It's like, "Please, please be the police chief, please." And they're like, "Okay, fine." And it was such a good choice, because she is perfect. But if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend highly recommend The Defunct Land, about where in the world is Carmen Sandiego.
That's okay. I'm good.
Oh,
I've seen it.
No, it's on my list. I have a long I call it my work list, and I just
Mhm.
haven't got to that video yet.
oh shit! Speaking of a work list,
Uh-oh.
yeah, I have a person. I recommended them on Blue Sky. By the way, I'm on Blue Sky as Iron Spike, all one word. Follow me there. I am always in search of people who make those like monster, gigantic YouTube documentaries because I
Oh,
do those while I work because you
yeah,
kind of don't see
same.
anything on the screen. I found a guy. He's pretty great. He is called, and he's got a great back catalog too, so there's a lot to go through. He is called Trap Lore Ross.
Okay,
Trap,
fine.
yeah, Trap Lore Ross is a British man, and he is very much in love with hip hop and all the drama surrounding it.
Ooh.
So he makes literal 3-hour documentaries about hip hop stuff and hip hop adjacent stuff, I should say
Hmm.
too. I just got watching as a
Oh,
a Chicago.
dang it! I just subscribed to Iron Circus. Dang it!
No, don't do that. Gross. I just got done watching. Okay, so in
I
the
need to go to my
2010s,
account when I'm done.
in the 2010s, the South Side of Chicago got the nickname Chirac, right? And I just finished watching the documentary about how that came about. And it's about a rapper that maybe some of you might have heard of who went by King Von.
Yes.
And King Von was beefing constantly with other rappers in Chicago publicly on Twitter and Instagram. And it's kind of shocking how open they were about posts that were just, I'm going to fucking kill you. And then the person shows up dead and the person posts, haha, he's dead. And it's just like, he's right. And because of various I think constitutionality challenging cases that eventually ruled in favor of the First Amendment, it's important to note here that this is not as shocking as it might otherwise be, but they will write songs, they will write rap lyrics that basically just goes, that guy you think I shot, I definitely shot him, and I shot 6 other people too.
Yeah.
Here are their names, here's how I killed them, and they're dead now. Ha ha ha, your mom's crying. Like, those are basically the lyrics.
Oh, yep.
And those are not actionable under the law.
Oh, yeah. They've been those have been being made for a very long time.
Yeah, you cannot use that as evidence in court. Song lyrics are protected by the First Amendment. So like King Von and a lot of other people were making these songs and dropping these albums that were like detailing how they fucking murdered people. And it was incredibly enthralling in the 2010s in Chicago. Like all this was going down, like 2014 through 2017. And it was fucking wild to behold. And this guy, Trap Lore Ross, covers it all in this big 3-hour documentary. I think he calls King Von rap's first serial killer. And like, yeah, he killed like 7 people and talked about it like a lot. It's fucking wild. Hi, Mobius2288. Yes, we are live. We are live and we're talking about terrible things. But he also talks about things like the disintegration of Kim Kardashian and Kanye West's marriage, Kanye West going off the deep end. He talks about a rapper who is kind of he's like a proto Tekashi 6ix9ine, like, but no one really talks about him anymore. He's this dude named Stitches, and he was like this Floridian guy. And he's kind of like the true distillation of the SoundCloud rapper. Like his lyrics are literally just like, I love selling blow. I love selling blow. I love selling blow. Just like over and over and over again. That's Stitches. And he has a really good documentary about Stitches. And he just really likes hip hop and he likes all the drama and the mess that goes along with it. And I strongly recommend that you all subscribe to and kind of put on in the background Trap Lore Ross. He's gotten me through a lot of weeks.
Nice. I love anything within certain parameters that's basically nonfiction things I can listen to for a long time.
How do you feel about the history of toys and cartoons?
It depends.
Okay. You do subscribe to Bad Movie Bible, right?
No.
Oh, Bad Movie Bible's the good shit. You got to go to
You
Bad Movie
say that,
Bible.
but you can't just tell me that.
Okay.
You tell
so-
me things are good shit all the time that turns out to be things that upset me very much.
Okay, so Bad Movie
Yeah,
Bible.
like I really don't like the Your Movie Sucks guy.
Oh. But okay, so Bad Movie Bible is just this. He's another British guy. I swear I listen to people on YouTube who are not British. It's just these guys happen to be British. But he is a guy who is very much into terrible and knockoff films. And
Okay.
he will make these collections where he reviews terrible knockoff films on a certain theme. Like he has a 40-minute documentary about the best, worst, and weirdest Nightmare on Elm Street knockoffs, the best, worst, and weirdest Star Wars knockoffs, Terminator knockoffs. There are so many Die Hard knockoffs that it needed to be a multi-part series.
I will check this out.
Yeah, Bad Movie Bible is really fun.
It's auto playing a video. Oops.
Yeah, and he also has a really good thing about vanity projects. So it's things like The Room, you know?
I really like that, like, certain plots have become like, if you talk to someone who's been in a lot of TV writers' rooms,
yeah,
they're like, have you done a Die Hard?
Yep.
Have you done a Groundhog Day? Have you done a blank? Like there are some that like almost every show keeps like doing these over and over
Juan
again.
Jury. I also love Hazel.
Yes, Hazel is also good. Another person. This person is American, so.
Actually, I hope I'm saying that right. Is it Juan Jury or Juan Huri? I don't know how you say that.
There is a person. Oh my God! There's a person called Secret Galaxy, and Secret Galaxy is just a very straightforward, no nonsense discussion of toys and video games and cartoons and the history of them. So going back, like talking about, you know, why Saturday morning cartoons became a thing and why they stopped being a thing, and whatever happened to Toys R Us, and what are Centurions, and what was Battle of the Planets? How did that end up that way? And you know, who in the hell?
Who is this again?
Decided, this is called Secret Galaxy.
Secret Galaxy.
Yes.
Again, I always need work companions.
And I'm always going to. I mean, there are a couple I can recommend. You've probably already heard of them, but there is one guy who.
Oh no, these aren't very long. I don't know. It depends on how many there are.
Yeah, you can string them together. There's a lot of them.
Okay, then. I'll check
And
it out
there's
later.
one guy who I think you probably already subscribe to, called Napoleon Blown Apart.
No.
Napoleon Blown Apart is a guy who is
Excellent
very
name.
Yeah, he is very into combat sports. So he talks about MMA and boxing a lot.
Okay.
But he is about sort of like the fucked up parts of it. So people who say, "Oh, I have psychic powers and I can knock you out with a finger touch." People like that. And
I tried to make the KH and I messed it up.
Yeah, and he talks about, every once in a while I'll say something on Twitter along the lines of, "I miss Pride." I am not talking about Pride Month or Pride parades. I am talking about Pride FC, which was a fighting championship, an MMA league that was out of Japan, was Yakuza financed, and was weird and fucked up and dirty as fuck. And I loved Pride FC. And if you go to Napoleon Blown Apart's channel, he has a really good documentary about the history of Pride. And if I'm not mistaken, he has a really fascinating documentary. I think that was him, something called Fighting in the Age of Loneliness or something like that. It's basically about the history of mixed martial arts, period. Just everything about it. And I really like him because just the way he fucking talks about the fighters, he talks about the leagues, he talks about the history of it. Like there was a wrestler who went by CM Punk, and for a while there, he decided he didn't want to do wrestling anymore. Like, you know, when I say wrestling, I mean like WWF wrestling. He decided he wanted to do MMA, and he got his ass absolutely destroyed. And he has a good video about that called "The Catastrophic Combat Sports Career of CM Punk." And it's just good shit. It's just good shit.
I'll check it out just in case.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't need to recommend Super Eye Patch Wolf, right?
Right.
I can't watch
I
him.
watched.
Oh, really?
We've talked about it before.
Yeah, he triggers Amanda's misophonia.
Oh, okay. All right.
And but I back his Patreon, so I have seen his uncensored Fear and Hunger video.
Oh God. Yeah, I know all about Fear and
Yeah,
Hunger.
I have nothing against his content. I just physically can't make it through it.
It's his voice.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's just gonna be what it's gonna be.
Shrug.
Yeah, it's just there's nothing against him. I fucking love
I
Super
have
iPad.
thought about I do have programs that can like equalize your audio, and I've thought about watching them, but like changing my equalizer settings and seeing if that helps. But I just haven't pulled the trigger yet.
Yeah. But yeah, Super iPad Wolf is fucking great. I fucking love him.
He was a guest on FD Signifier's new video.
Cool.
Since it's about anime.
And that's another person I was going to recommend, FD Signifier. FD Signifier, he caught my attention with this video he made that was like hit a little too close to home about God, what's her fucking name? Shit, not Janelle Monáe, fuck.
Nicki Minaj.
No, not Nicki Minaj either, although God, I'd love to see an FD Signifier on Nicki Minaj. Did he make one?
He did one about Nicki Minaj.
Okay, it must have been a while ago. But let me find it.
Oh yeah, I am subscribed to
Lauren
him.
Lauren Hill. Fuck.
I think you recommended him, and I just haven't finally. No, he isn't. Okay, he is in my watch list, and I haven't got to him yet. Okay.
Yeah. He made a video called "It's Tough Loving Lauren Hill" that is like the perfect, succinct breakdown of how I feel about Lauren Hill, and it's like she's. Oh, I was so into her in college. I was so fucking. She was everything in college, and like everyone thought that we were gonna get like a Lauren Hill album every 2 years until the end of fucking time when I was in college, because like she was just that good. She'd popped off. She'd won 1.5 billion Grammys. Everything she touched turned to gold.
And then she like kind of lost it, right?
Well, multiple things happened, and one that stuck with me that he talked about that made me actually audibly go, oh no, was her big album, everyone, for people who are not 1,000 years old, is called The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. And it is a big deal in hip hop. It's a big deal in music. It won 1 billion Grammys, and it's in the Smithsonian and the National Library, the archives, all that shit. It's that important. And when she recorded it, all her backup vocalists and all her musicians and whoever was mixing her beats and whoever was doing the producing work and all that other sound work, she basically went into the studio and she said, "No contracts. We're all friends here."
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh no! Oh no!
And of course, when you do that, you don't think it's gonna blow up and go, multi-platinum, but it did. And apparently the thing that super turned her off of music is what happened when everyone who was on her album was all like, hey, so, because they hadn't signed anything. And things just got really ugly and nasty, because now that it was this big deal, of course, everyone's all like, well, I'm going to try and negotiate the best possible cut for myself. That's like normal human nature. And she was just in a morass of lawsuits for years because of Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, because she didn't do the paperwork when they launched.
Look, we've said this before. We'll say it 1,000 times. I don't care if you're working with your best childhood friend.
Yeah.
Even your mothers were best friends. You always do contracts. It doesn't matter, because you have literally no idea what's going to happen tomorrow. Your best friend could die and leave their kids behind, and they will have it doesn't matter. You always have contracts. Always, always, always.
And real talk, people have really fucked up idea about, in just sort of a general concept, where the money goes. And if it's not made clear to them from the start what all the cuts are going to be, they are going to argue in their own best interests, which again is normal and rational. But as a person in a managerial position who sees where the money goes every day, most people are completely fucking wrong about the splits, 100%. And I can only imagine the horror of dealing with like 10 different people who are all completely wrong about the splits, who didn't sign a contract and now are going to argue in their own best interests, each with their own set of lawyers. I can only imagine what that does to a person. That's a horrifying.
And it's not even like
idea.
it's also in their best interest too. It's in literally everyone's best interest.
Yeah, it's like it answers questions and makes things nice and neat, and it's fair and normal, and it's just
like it can answer questions like, what if we literally can't work together anymore and it is no beef, it's just a circumstances changed.
Yeah, like what if I have a catastrophic stroke tomorrow and become vegetal? You know, whoever I'm partnered with on a graphic novel needs to know what that means for the work they've put in.
And it's there. It's literally right there. So it's like you don't have to spend ages litigating it and figuring out. No, it's right there. It's right there.
Yeah, one of the things in all the Iron Circus contracts is if I get hit by a bus tomorrow and die, Iron Circus dissolves completely and all rights revert. And, you know, nobody
Don't
has
give people ideas.
Nobody has to do anything. It'll happen automatically. If they read, oh, you know, rip in pieces, you know, rip bozo, they don't have to worry, well, what do I do about, you know, my book now? Well, the answer is that's up to you. You don't have to request rights back. They have automatically reverted. Go do something with it. But yeah, that's what you have to plan
my
for.
villain mustache.
Yeah. But it is 10 p.m. It is 10 p.m. And that means it is time to start...
I also saw the Todd in the Shadows unplugged, a video about her unplugged episode, and woof.
Yeah, that was a heartbreaking fucking video. Oh no. Oh God. I felt so bad watching that. I watched it, like, you know, sometimes when something's troubling you, you watch it with like a hand on your cheek or over your mouth the entire time. Like I was just sitting there like, oh God.
And wait, that was through the filter of someone else watching it.
Yeah. And it's like, it sucks seeing what happened to Lauryn Hill, because that didn't, I am convinced that did not have to happen, but it did. And it sucks. I think, I mean, yeah, neither do I, to be fair. Neither do I. I don't know for sure.
Some of those beliefs and stuff were there already.
Either just good thing you are friends with all mankind. Yeah. But yeah,
I'm sorry. That shouldn't have made me laugh as hard as it did. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But anyway, that's what contracts are for.
I'm a bad friend.
Yes, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, time to play ourselves out. Everybody, hello, hi, how are you? I'm Spike. I am most active these days on Blue Sky. You can find me there at Iron Spike, all one word. Today, Iron Circus Comics got its own Blue Sky too. That's at Iron Circus Comics, you know, all one word. Follow us both on Blue Sky for updates and sass. You can go to ironcircus.com and partake in the 50% off clearance of Scratch and Ding books. We are going to stop selling Scratch and Ding books in the shop because we have moved to third-party fulfillment, and therefore it no longer makes sense to, frankly, it doesn't make sense to pay somebody to fulfill a 50% off book. We'd just really like to get rid of them right now if we can. Go there and see what's still available. They're moving fast, though. I suggest stocking up.
Whatever doesn't sell, I'm building a bookcase out of.
I'm on Twitter, although with much less frequency these days, at Iron_Spike, but I am Iron Spike, all one word, on Pillow Fort, co-host, and Spoutable, and Hive Social. But I have to note, I am only really active right now on Blue Sky, so follow me there. In about 11 days, we are going to launch our next crowdfund, which is for the Lackadaisy Book and Plushes set plus ... question mark exclamation point. All I'm saying is, if you're as fucking fed the fuck up with the state of animation in the mainstream as I am, and you just wish creators could make cool shows that you like to watch without interference from Suits, maybe take a look at what's coming up over at Iron
Wink,
Circus.
wink, aggressive winking.
Aggressive winking, aggressively wink, wink, wink.
One eye then the other, one eye then the other.
11 days until launch. If you go to the Backer Kit homepage and you hit coming soon, you will see get ready for the Lackadaisy book set and plushes there. Just go ahead, click there and sign up so that you get alerted the moment we launch. Please help us make more of this great fucking cartoon and do it in such a way that we don't have to surrender it to anybody who will happily shelve it or vault it for a tax break.
I'm Kel. You can find my gay werewolf comics at kelmcdonald.com and on patreon.com/kelmcdonald. I stream 3 times a week at twitch.tv/kelmcdonald. There's too many social medias. I'm not listing them all off. I will be at San Diego Comic-Con next week. I am table 1229. Please come buy my books.
I'm Amanda Lafreniere. Website in the description. That's where that links to all my stuff except co-host and Blue Sky. I'm Amanda Laugh at co-host, and I'm Amanda Laugh as in laughter laugh on Blue Sky. And that's it.
Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. Please like and subscribe.
I'm gonna I'm gonna fucking rehaul this soundboard before the next show. Just
Yes.
fucking wait. It's gonna be miserable. All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.